Assalamualaikum. In this video, I will explain to you on how to answer a question that relates with the provision for inflation and taxation. A business is evaluating a project for which the following information is relevant. The first one, sales will be 100 ringgit in the first year and are expected to increase by 5% per year. Second, costs will be 50,000 ringgit and are expected to increase by 7% per year. Capital investment will be 200,000 ringgit and attracts tax allowable depreciation of the full value of the investment over the 5-year length of the project. The tax rate is 30% and tax is payable in the following year. Next, working capital invested will be 20% of the projected sales for the following year. And lastly, general inflation is expected to be 3% over the cost of the project and the business uses a real discount rate of 9%. You are required to calculate the net present value for the project. We are going to compute the inflated sales and costs. You need to refer to information number 1 and number 2. Now, we are going to compute first the inflated sales. Sales will be 100,000 ringgit in the first year and are expected to increase by 5% per year. It means that for period 1, the amount of sales will be 100,000 ringgit. And in year 2, it will increase by 5%. Therefore, 100,000 ringgit you multiply with 1.05, you will get 105,000 ringgit. In year 3, 100,000 ringgit you multiply with 1.05 power of 2, you will get 110,250 ringgit. In year 4, 100,000 ringgit you multiply with 1.05 power of 3, you will get 115,763. And in year 5, 100,000 ringgit multiply with 1.05 power of 4, you will get 121,551. As for inflated costs, the cost will be 50,000 ringgit and are expected to increase by 7% per year. Therefore, for period 1, the inflated cost will be 50,000 ringgit. For period 2, it will be 50,000 ringgit multiplied with 1.07, you will get 53,500 ringgit. For year 3, 50,000 ringgit you multiply with 1.07 power of 2, you will get 57,245 ringgit. For year 4, 50,000 ringgit you multiply with 1.07 power of 3, you will get 61,252 ringgit. And for year 5, the amount of inflated cost will be 65,540 ringgit. That is by multiplying 50,000 with 1.07 power of 4. Now you can compute for working capital. You need to refer to information number 5. It stated that working capital invested will be 20% of projected sales for the following year. It means that to compute for the working capital required period 0, the amount will be based on the inflated sales of year 1. So for working capital required period 0, the amount will be 20,000 ringgit. That is 20% you multiply with 100,000 ringgit. For year 1, the working capital required will be 21,000 ringgit. That is 20% you multiply with 105,000 ringgit. As for period 2, the working capital required will be 22,050 ringgit. For period 3, the working capital required will be 23,153 ringgit. As for year 4, the working capital required will be 24,310 ringgit. Once you have determined the absolute amount of the working capital required, you can compute for the incremental investment. For period 0, the incremental amount will be 20,000 ringgit negative, which means it is a cash outflow. For period 1, the amount will be negative 1,000 ringgit. For year 2, the amount will be negative 1,050 ringgit. For year 3, the amount is 1,103 ringgit negative. And for year 4, the amount will be cash outflow of 1,158 ringgit. And for year 5, the amount is 24,310 ringgit. This one is cash inflows. Next, you can compute for the tax allowable depreciation. You need to refer to information number 3 and number 4. For information number 3, capital investment will be 200,000 ringgit and attracts tax allowable depreciation of the full value of the investment over the 5-year length of the project. So to compute for the tax allowable depreciation, you can use straight line method. The formula will be cost minus with the expected residual value, and you divide with expected years of life. Therefore, the tax allowable depreciation will be 200,000 divided by 5, you will get RM 40,000 ringgit. As for the tax saving, the amount will be 40,000 ringgit. You multiply with 30%, you will get 12,000 ringgit. The tax payable period will be from year 2 until year 6. You also can compute for the tax allowable depreciation using these workings. For year 1, the balance will be 200,000 ringgit and the TAD will be 40,000 ringgit. Because this one is straight line method, therefore the amount of the TAD will be the same from year 1 until year 5. So 40,000 ringgit year 2, year 3, year 4, and also year 5. Same goes with the tax saving. The amount will be the same. 12,000 ringgit year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. As for tax payable period, the assumption is tax is payable in the following year. Therefore, for period 1, the tax payable period will be period 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As for the balance, okay, for year 2, it will be 160,000 ringgit, year 3, 120,000 ringgit, year 4, 80,000 ringgit, and year 5 will be 40,000 ringgit. So you can choose whether you want to use the first working or the second working. But I would advise you guys to do the first working.